the very imperative thing which happened, or I would say the very fundamental, I would say the mindset thing which changed during the COVID was that the teacher themselves, honestly, I mean, you may call it, they were thrust upon this possible change, but there were these very conscious effort made by not only the leadership of the school, obviously it percolates down from the leader, which is principal or the ownership of the school. But I have seen a very, I would say, conscious effort towards teacher themselves, making an effort toward upskilling themselves. And obviously then eventually they will pass on that learning to the end ward, which is a student in that case, right? So I think, as I said, that's the beauty of this past 18 months, I would say, that the fundamental thing was that it made us think a little harder. It really made us question that, are we doing enough for ourselves, or are we just purely in that rote learning format, which we always keep saying so much, but we hardly do anything about it. So the good thing, and I said it, and I will, as I said, at the cost of repeating myself, that I have really seen that transformational change wherein every teacher today is taking onus of their own self-care, what I call it, right? And which is purely about upskilling themselves. Right. Now, whatever else, as I mentioned out, Manjula ji gave you a very practical hands-on what the hard realities of this entire system was also. I mean, obviously we are right now representatively, we are talking about the private institutions of a country, but talk about the government setup, and we all know for that matter that what has happened there, that in a family of mine as well, I have two young daughters. I can't have 4 devices possible ever, for that matter. At the end of the day, it will boil down to either of us using mobile handset. And mobile doesn't really lead to learning. That was just a makeshift arrangement we were trying to create at the end of the day. And which is why I say hats off to the teachers who were teaching kids on a 5-inch screen. How difficult it is. I can understand that, right? So the main thing that I mentioned, pointed out to you, is that the beauty of these 18 months, I know there was nothing good about it, but the biggest thing good about was that really that the educators of our country have taken this onus of really taking themselves a notch above in terms of their, I would say, skilling. And that to me is the biggest transformation which virtual learning has enabled. And I would say virtual tech enabled, that my usage will be different. As I said, a tech enabled learning, I would say, or tech enabled skill development of a teacher, I believe we would have never even not achieved in 1 decade, for that matter, what they have achieved in the past 18 months.